Damien Spinelli, I'm paralegal for the defense. I have a most urgent matter to discuss with my client.
What are you doing?
I come bearing news of the darkest nature.
Oh, don't tell me Carly came up with another
Okay,
plan.
with all due respect, Stone Cold, this visit is about me, not the Valkyrie. The Jackal is in need of guidance and wisdom. The blonde one has taken Mjolnir to my chief article of affection.
What the hell does that mean?
Lulu broke my heart.
Okay, just tell me what happened.
I tried to love Lulu from afar, you know, biting my tongue every time a declaration of beauty came across my lips. Instead, I wrote them down. All here on these cybersank walls, and I kept hoping against hope that one day she would just change her mind. You know, and just an adventure into the uncharted waters of romance, and as if by a miracle she has, just not with me. The chosen one is Mr. Corinthos, sir's newest protector of the night.
Logan?
She's drawn to the simian one like a moth to a blowtorch. And I know that if he gets the chance, he'll reduce her to ashes, and I can't let that happen. So please, look, Stone Cold, I know this is a most tenuous time for you, but please, please, please just impart a little bit of wisdom, okay? Tell me how I can save fair Lulu.
Jason would never...
If you want to be Lulu's friend, you need to stick by her no matter what.
Right. She's making a massively huge mistake, giving herself to the unworthy.
Okay, how do you know it's a mistake?
Because I have proof that Logan Hayes is the reigning king of scum. He was caught putting the moves on the bad blonde one just moments after leaving the fair one's side.
This is what I'm talking about right here, okay? Part of being a friend is knowing when to give advice and when just to let it go. Because there are people who you can tell over and over again and warn them, and they're not going to listen to you.
You're talking about the Valkyrie Carly?
Oh, yeah, Carly. For example, okay, she's done the craziest, most self-destructive things. I knew they were going to hurt her, but Carly is the type of person who needs to figure it out for herself. And now, maybe Lulu's the same way. All you can do is just be there to pick her up when she falls.
I just wish there was a way that I could spare her the inevitable pain of this negative situation. You know, some way that I could show her that she deserves someone so much better than the simian one, you know? Someone that'll worship the ground that she walks on, you know? And just hold her in the highest regard.
No matter what happens, Lulu knows that she can trust you.
Trust? Great. That doesn't make a heartbeat faster, okay? Have you ever heard of a poet or a rock star writing an aria about trust? I mean, come on, trust is the also-ran of interpersonal bonds.
Trust is essential. There is no relationship that can survive without it.
I'm calling Sam to the stand. Now, I'm going to assume that her anger has even intensified because it has become public knowledge that you slept with Elizabeth Spencer. So my advice is to prepare yourself. Sam could do some real damage today.
May I remind you, Ms. McCall, you're still under oath.
I understand. How much does Sam know about Maureen Sonny's business?
Enough.
Ms. McCall, would you refresh the jury's memory as to how you know the defendant?
Jason and I were in a relationship for the past 3 years.
And in that time, you lived with Jason Morgan. Is that correct?
I did.
In your previous testimony, you told the court that the defendant, Jason Morgan, often kept guns in the house and used them to shoot people.
Objection, Your Honor. The witness has already established that the defendant has a license for every weapon in question and has only used them in self-defense.
Sustained. Mr. Lansing, if you have no new ground to cover, I'll have to excuse the witness.
Your Honor, in my experience, many witnesses often remember vital information only after they have left the courtroom. Now, it is impossible for Ms. McCall to remember every single detail that she ever saw or every word that she ever heard in the course of a 3-year relationship. But now that some time has passed, the witness may be better able to recall the events leading up to Lorenzo Alcazar's murder.
Objection! Prejudicial!
Mr. Lansing, we've been over this before several times.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm sorry. The events leading up to the disappearance of Lorenzo Alcazar.
I'll allow it, but keep it brief.
We've already established that the defendant owns guns and has shot people. Some even in your own presence. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you ever heard or seen Jason Morgan actively plan to kill anyone? We've become very desensitized to murder in our society. We read about it in the paper every day. It's been glorified in the movies.
Objection! Objection! The prosecution is addressing the jury.
Stop waxing eloquent and find a question, Mr. Lansing.
Miss McCall, have you ever heard the defendant, Jason Morgan, make arrangements to kill anyone at all?
No, I haven't.
You can take your time, Miss McCall. We are after the truth here, no matter how long it takes.
No, I don't need any more time. I have never heard Jason Morgan make arrangements to kill anyone.
Really? Are you sure?
Objection!
Sustained. Move it along, Mr. Lansing.
Sir, you've never heard the defendant, Jason Morgan, make any arrangements to kill anybody, but you have, in fact, been in Jason Morgan's presence when he has taken a life.
Yes, and I have even shot people myself in self-defense, like Jason did. And it's terrible knowing that your actions destroyed another person's life, whether you did it to protect them or not.
Your Honor, I fail to see how Ms. McCall's testimony in this case is relevant. May we please move it along?
Mr. Lansing, do you have any further questions for this witness that actually pertain to this case?
No, Your Honor, I do not.
Ms. Miller,
No questions, Your Honor.
you may step down.
You owe her for that.
Do you have any more witnesses to call, Mr. Lansing?
The prosecution rests, Your Honor.
You may call your first witness, Ms. Miller.
Thank you, Your Honor. Defense calls Michio Takahama. Mr. Takahama, could you tell us all, please, what is it that you do for a living?
I'm the coroner for the city of Port Charles.
And what exactly does that entail?
My job is to determine the cause of any unexplained or sudden deaths that are reported to the police.
That would include murders?
Yes,
How does one go about determining the cause of death?
by performing an autopsy.
Did you perform an autopsy on the body of Lorenzo Alcazar?
No, I did not.
Why not?
There was no body.
So with no body, can you be sure beyond a reasonable doubt that Lorenzo Alcazar is even dead?
Objection, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Do you have any proof whatsoever that Lorenzo Alcazar was killed by my client or anyone else?
No.
On the next General Hospital, you think you're pregnant. How could this have happened?
Let me speak to my husband. I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Jason Morgan committed murder.
Lorenzo Alcazar is still alive.
Have you reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.